But I think what I'd really like to see is a lot more clarity in what the Fed is doing. And as I've sort of floated this idea that maybe the Federal Reserve is sounding tough here and unrelenting on its balance sheet shrinkage because it knows or it acknowledges that the Treasury is basically, with the other hand, injecting a lot of liquidity back into the system.
Yeah, I guess the issue is, if they pull away from the not QE, or if they reduce interest rates, I imagine that would be, bond yields would go higher. That seems to be the current trend that we've seen in the last 2 rate cuts. So it's a bigger issue.
I think that's right. I mean, but because I think what is happening is the bond market, the bond vigilantes are getting suspicious about, what's going on here. And the treasuries or the policymakers generally are saying being forced into a corner. And the only thing that they can do, kicking and screaming, is to try and get interest rates down to lower the cost of front-end debt, or actually do a lot more debt issuance at the front end of the market, and do a lot of issuance at the front end of the market. And that kind of is what's going on. But that's monetary inflation. And, what's happened is the baton of liquidity creation has been passed from the central bank to the banking system. And the banking system is doing this because they're buying up the treasuries, that the Treasury is issuing, the short-dated debt, because that's what they like. But as they buy it up, their balance sheet expands, and that's basically a liquidity and a money supply expansion. And the thing, the crazy thing is here, that if you go back to the 1970s, which I can just dimly remember, even me dimly remember, but what you had in the 1970s, there was a similar episode where bank balance sheets started to expand, and that was the source of monetary inflation, and it didn't end well. And this is the warning. But what you wanted through that period, the lesson was that you wanted monetary inflation hedges. Gold did well.